Your first impression matters. Your final words matter. In this video, we're going to talk about your introduction and your conclusion in your speech. Two seemingly small portions of a speech, yet so vital and important to the success of your speech. We're just going to do a small little deep dive into the introduction and conclusion. We could go deeper into each portion, but for this moment, I want you to just know why. Why is it so important that we have an introduction and a conclusion? So the introduction. Your introduction accomplishes quite a few things. First and foremost, your introduction is your moment to grab your audience's attention. Grab it right away. In fact, in the videos you've been watching, I have clearly and strategically thought of the very first words that come out of my mouth because I know that an introduction attention getter matters so much. I didn't start the first video with my name and who I was. No, I saved that a little bit further in. I start with a question or a statement that really gets your attention. Grab your audience's attention. Simple ways to do this. Tell a story. Be funny. Say a shocking statement. Do something and say something that gets their curiosity going. These are ways that you can grab their attention. Start with a quote that matters. Have a rhetorical question, one that they're trying to answer in their brain, or maybe stack several statements or questions. We could do a whole video just on an attention getter. But for this moment and for this time, just know you want your very first words to grab your audience's attention. Here are other things you want to do in your introduction. You want to reveal your topic. It should not be a mystery what you're talking about. You can wait a little bit in your introduction to reveal the exact topic, but you want to reveal what you're talking about. It's important that they know. You want to gain credibility. If you lose credibility in this moment, it's hard to gain it back. Same with attention. If you don't gain their attention in this moment, it's hard to gain it later. So say something that makes you credible. This is an okay time to state why we can trust you in this topic. And maybe that happens in less of a formal way of you can trust me because perhaps it's in the research you start off with right away. In this study, I found, and then you go on to say it. Or maybe you're an expert in the topic. We want to know that you're an expert in the topic. We want to know that we can listen to you. So gain credibility. You want to preview exactly what you're going to talk about. Preview your main points. Yes, exactly what you're going to say. In this speech, I will talk about A, B, and C. The reason why you want to preview exactly what you're going to say is because this is a way for your audience to have moments where they know, oh yeah, they talked about that. They said we would be talking about that. And then they know exactly when you're moving on to the next statement, and they know exactly when you're moving on to the next main point, and so on and so forth. Say exactly what you will talk about. List your main points. This usually happens right at the end before you transition to that first main point. All right? So you want to gain their attention. You want to reveal your topic. You want to gain credibility with your audience. And you want to preview exactly what you're going to say. Preview your main points. If it's 3 of them, say exactly the 3. If it's 2, say the 2. Preview exactly how they're going to hear your main points. And then your conclusion. Your conclusion is similar to your introduction. It matters, and I'll give you a little hint. I can't tell you how many speeches I've seen where they've done a great introduction. They've transitioned all the phrases that they needed and the moments, and then they rush through their conclusion and we're not ready for them to be over. Your conclusion is important. It's a signal that you're coming to an end. We do this in natural conversation. When you're on the phone, you might say, all right, I'm about to leave, but we're going to meet each other here, and then do this and this, right? You kind of review whatever you just talked about. Well, that's a conclusion. In your conclusion, it's the end. You want to signal we're coming to an end, and you want to accomplish these things. You want to review what you talked about. This means restate those main points again. Yes, you want them walking away knowing exactly what those main points were, because then they can draw, oh yeah, we talked about this, this, and this, and I remember they said this, right? It's a way to help your audience along. So review those main points. Yes, it's repetitive, but there's a reason for that. You want them to remember. And just like those first words are so important, your last words are so important as well. You want to have strategic final words that your audience will remember. End with the finishing part of that story. Perhaps you started a story in your introduction and then you end it in your conclusion. You kind of bookend the whole thing. Or maybe you end with a quote. Or maybe you end with a call to action for your audience. When you can get them involved and they have something to do, they're likely to remember. You want to end with a lasting impression. So your introduction and your conclusion. It's your first impression and it's your last impression.